Hello and welcome to Awaz News. I'm Simona Kotoni and I'll be taking you through big news across Canada. Vladimir Putin vows to unconditionally fulfill goals in Ukraine. Canada's working age population is older than ever, Stats Canada says. Toronto shooting suspect atop Canada's most wanted list arrested on day one. Police promise heavy presence, arrest for hate as biker convoy to descend on Ottawa. Canada pushing G7 on new laws to seize and repurpose frozen Russian assets. Apartment and row houses growth outpaces single detached homes. George Brown College could build a new campus in Mount Dennis. Ontario Green's purpose tax on domestic buyers of multiple homes. Raptors All-Star guard doubtful to play in Raptors do-or-die Game 6. Matthews scored milestone 60th as Leafs clinch home ice in first round. So those were the headlines. Now let's jump right into the details. Russian President Vladimir Putin has vowed to Russia's parliament that the goals of what he describes as special military operation in Ukraine will be achieved. In an address today to both houses of parliament, Putin said, "I want to emphasize again that all tasks of the special military operation we are conducting in the Donbass and Ukraine launched on February 24th will be unconditionally fulfilled." His speech came as Russia continues to its offensive on eastern Ukraine and after it escalated tensions with the West by deciding to halt the supply of natural gas to Poland and Bulgaria. Canada's working age population is older than it has ever been, according to new census figures released today. More than 1 in 5 working adults and now nearing retirement, says Statistic Canada, a demographic shift that will create significant challenges for the Canadian workforce in the coming decade. The Canadian population has now a larger share of people aged 55 to 64 than it does of those aged 15 to 24, the age at which people enter the workforce. The top name on the new list of Canada's most wanted violent fugitive was arrested just hours after the list, and a $250,000 reward was made public. On October 13, 2021, a 43-year-old Craig McDonald was watching a Leafs game at a Boston Pizza in the Cinemark Drive and Milner Avenue area of Scarborough. He reportedly got into an argument with a man at the restaurant who allegedly waited for him in the parking lot and shot him to death. On Tuesday morning, police and the nationwide BOLO program, in conjunction with some of the Canada's largest police service, named Mohammed the number 1 fugitive on its new Canada's Most Wanted list. They also offered a $250,000 reward for information leading to his arrest, available for the next 6 months. Ottawa Police promise a heavy presence in the capital and zero tolerance for hate as second convoy prepares to descend on the city this weekend, this time involving hundreds of motorcycles instead of trucks. Interim Police Chief Steve Bell told Ottawa City Councillor Wednesday that his force has no intention of letting the Rolling Thunder convoy turn into another illegal occupation and that officers will act quickly when they see any wrongdoing. The police chief also sought to reassure residents still shaken by the Freedom Convoy, in which hundreds of protesters occupied the downtown core for 3 weeks to protest COVID-19 restrictions and demand the Liberal government resign. The federal government is working with G7 allies to craft new legislation that will allow for not just freezing of sanctioned Russian assets, but seizing them on behalf of Ukrainian war victims. The recent federal budget declared Canada's intention to pursue the seizure of asset route, which has been the subject of a bill by an independent senator that is on the verge of being passed in the Senate. The government's budget implementation bill also lays out its intent to enact a law that would broaden Canada's current sanctions regime to allow for seizure and repurposing of assets. Single detached houses are still the most plentiful type of houses in Canada, but apartment and row houses are slowly catching up, the latest census data reveals. The figures released by Statistic Canada today shows the country's 7.8 million single detached homes made up to 53% of Canada's housing supply in 2021, down from roughly 54% during the 2016 census. The data agency found the growth of single detached home was outpaced by apartment in both low rises and high rises along with the row houses. Housing expert attributed much of the shift to consumer preferences, zoning regulation, and the lack of space in several regions, especially popular downtown cores already known for their high density. A satellite George Brown campus could eventually be built in Toronto's Mount Dennis neighborhood as a part of new partnership between the city and the college. Mayor John Tory announced this morning that the city and the agency responsible for managing its real estate asset will work collaboratively with the George Brown to explore opportunities for a new campus in the neighborhood, which will soon be served by the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. Ontario's Green Party is proposing a tax on domestic home buyers with multiple properties as a measure to reduce housing demand and make it easier for the first-time buyers to get into the market. Party leader Mark Schreiner announced the election platform promise on Wednesday, saying young people are being priced out of the market and accusing the current progressive conservative government of letting speculation run out of control. If elected in June, the Greens, who currently have one seat in the Ontario legislature, would place a 20% tax on the purchase of a third home, and the amount would increase with each additional property.
Further away from where they work, just to be able to find a place that they can afford. This is leading to challenges in their lives, making their lives more expensive, and driving up urban.
Toronto Raptors All-Star guard Fred VanVleet is doubtful for Thursday's playoff game against the visiting Philadelphia 76ers with a strained left hip flexor. VanVleet suffered the injury in the first half of the game third, ripping his jersey in frustration as he left the court. He did not play in the Raptors' 103-88 victory in Game 4 in Philadelphia. Austin Matthews looked a little sheepish after scoring his 50th goal into an empty net last month. Matthews scored twice, including the milestone effort on one of his patented snapshots to become just the third player in NHL's salary cap era to register 60 goals in a season as Toronto defeated Detroit 3-0 last night. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Simone Cutoni, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same channel. Adios.